Well, welcome to Cardiff. Not everyone made this journey, not many people made this journey, but those who did make this journey would have thoroughly enjoyed themselves, as Norwich City have managed to progress to the third round of the Carabao Cup. They've beaten Premier League Cardiff City 3-1, and while some of you might snigger at the sound of Premier League Cardiff City, you looked at the squad, it was still a very strong 11 despite all their changes. Likewise, Norwich's 11 was pretty decent. Maybe not at full strength, of course, but what is interesting, I think, now with the Carabao Cup is that teams they make so many changes because they've got so many players that need game time. It's not even a question of strength, it's just a question of giving some players a run out. So still two very strong teams, and likewise Cardiff's team would have been pretty decent in the Championship last year. The problem is they haven't played a lot together, and as I think Norwich found occasionally when they were in the Premier League, you play your second string and they're just not sharp and not work together. And I don't know if it's the Premier League or what, but I mean, Cardiff were really, really poor tonight in terms of how they went about things, their quality on the ball, there was no pressing, which isn't really a Neil Warnock way anyway. They just sat off Norwich quite a lot, and when Norwich are on form and in the mood, they can take advantage of that quite easily, and they did tonight. They were superb from start to finish. Norwich, absolutely excellent. They made 10 changes from the side that started against Leeds. Tom Tyball was the only one who started today. He was back to his best, absolutely brilliant to see. I thought Tom was outstanding in terms of the context of the game. The only problem is he came off a bit early and he's got a slight problem. I think it might be a knee problem, but they're hoping it won't be an issue for Sunday, because on that sort of form you want Tom Tyball playing regularly. Don't know what the lights are doing, but that's very, very exciting. More life from the lights than Cardiff during the game. Lots of really good performances, and that's of course the big question: who's put themselves into contention for Sunday? Well, probably no one. I can't really see there being many changes. There may be one or two, but I can't see that being the crux. The crux is when we come the other side of the international break, and when things filter through, I think these players and their performances will be remembered. Max Aarons, his first senior goal, took it really well, lovely move. Having done really well again at left back, looked really comfortable compared to the Stevenage game, I would argue. Didn't look out of place at all. I thought he was absolutely superb for his effort. Ben Godfrey at centre back did really well too. I think there was only a couple of moments where maybe he dawdled a little bit more than I'd have hoped, but he was good on the ball, drove out sometimes, defended well too. Emi Buendia, that guy is ready to start properly. He's going to be very exciting. He's a very good player. He's going to make a real difference. My only thing with Emi is that I hope we don't have him for a season, sell him on for a shed load of money, and don't really get to build anything off him, because I think he could be that kind of a player once he gets going, 100%. Some good moments from some others. I thought Todd Cantwell struggled in the game at times. He drove Norwich on, went to ground a little bit too easily last time. He did get fouled quite a lot as well. So good moments from Todd. I still think that there may be a temptation to loan him out possibly, although continuation in the Cup means that he might still get the odd game now, the longer that Norwich stay in the competition. I'm trying to make sure I don't miss anything. Michael McGovern had one heart-stopping moment where a header slipped underneath him and just rolled the wrong side of the post. Could have easily have gone in, and that would have been officially classified as a howler. And then really the one person who I probably haven't mentioned and would mention most definitely is Dennis Srebeni, because a 1-2 with Emi Buendia and on a wonderful step over and drive into the top corner. A wonderful goal, his first of the season, only his second for the club, but it was a brilliant goal, outstanding, and obviously made a huge difference in terms of the impact of the game. He then finished off to a wonderful counter that was set in motion by Tom Tyball. Marco Stiepermann's best moment of the game by far, running it to the byline, standing up as close to the far post, and a neat header as well from Dennis. He worked really hard, dead on his feet by the end of it. More of that. I thought it was interesting that Daniel said that he started off well. He did. He looked good against Birmingham, and then he had one poor touch against Sheffield United that of course led to Norwich conceding the late winner, and almost that dented his confidence in the next few appearances. And if that now reignites something in him, because there's still a lot of hit and miss stuff with Dennis, but there is clearly a player there if people play to his strengths and he feels good about himself. So more of that, Dennis, and we'll all be feeling good about ourselves, so bring that on. I think that's all the key points really. I can't remember I think this is Norwich's first away win since January, Brentford, off the top of my head. I hope I've got that right. and I missed that game, so I'm not even sure. Bristol City, I guess, was the one before that. So yeah, certainly the first away win since since January. A little bit disappointing Norwich didn't keep a clean sheet, but it's fair to say that Cardiff put Norwich under a fair amount of pressure in the last 10 minutes, especially once they got the goal back again from a corner. And it's easy to maybe worry about these corners and goals ratio that Norwich seem to be achieving at the wrong end of the pitch, but it is a thing, and it'll be interesting just how robust Ipswich are in terms of that come Sunday, because it is a derby. I think by the law of averages, Norwich fans waiting for the inevitable to happen, because it's going to happen at some point, plus what was an awful result and tepid performance after going behind against Leeds. Clearly the mood has been pretty dark, and a medal to the pocket of Norwich fans who made the trip today, because clearly they just wanted to see their side play at Cardiff, and they love their club and they love their football. No one should be disappointed as a Norwich fan that Norwich won tonight and played so well against a side that had been doing so well. So maybe that just adds a bit of positivity going into Sunday. Maybe a realism that actually, you know what, the law of averages is one thing. By the same token, it doesn't necessarily mean things have to end come Sunday. It does mean that if Norwich play well, and Ipswich, who are clearly struggling in so many departments, it can be there for Norwich. They can take whatever. But we don't know, and it'll be up to Norwich to deliver what they can on Sunday. But I think at least there's a dose of realism maybe from this, and it got very passionate and emotive and very reactionary after Saturday in what was really difficult situation in so many ways. But it was an Armageddon. I've seen Norwich fail to show up. I've seen Carrow Road apoplectic, and it just wasn't that on Saturday. So hopefully this just settles things down a little bit going into Sunday, when Norwich can put in a good solid performance, take real heart from this, and just show everyone that they're not this fall away side that some people have had. Of course, on the flip side, we could quite easily see all the same issues we've seen at times in the Championship, and when it happens in a derby, you're going to expect a much stronger reaction than you see elsewhere. So it's teed up really nicely for a hell of a game on Sunday, but fair enough, Norwich City had a hell of a game this evening here in Wales. Thank goodness. It took us 7 hours to get here, and as I said, a medal to all those who made the same trip. PinkUn.com for all the full reaction and analysis to tonight's game, and of course build up to Sunday.